Well, hello everybody. This is Sherry Joy Collier coming to you from my art studio in East Tennessee. And tonight I am wanting to paint an art journal page about God's promise to give us wisdom. I wrote this article. It is on my blog, on my website at sherryjoycollier.com if you'd like to read it. In it, I list several verses that talk about wisdom. I love this one right here. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. James 1:5. But the verse that I chose to do an art journal page about tonight, tonight, whatever, it's kind of in between. It is Proverbs 2:6. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2:6. And again, the whole point to my art journaling about these promises of God is that the act of embellishing it and making it pretty or, look the way I would like it to look as best I can, it will help my memory to recall this verse about the Lord giving wisdom and that his mouth brings knowledge and understanding. So this is why I art journal. And so tonight I'm going to I'm doing it vertically in my art journal instead of this way. And I went ahead and I wrote the verse out this time. And I wrote it first. And I used this pen right here, paint marker pen. And it's just black. I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of a wash. So I picked this color, Light Orchid, because I was reading about the colors that represent wisdom, and purple is one of those colors. So I'm going to try to do some purple flowers, but I thought, let's just see if I can get a light wash of this orchid color. And when I say wash with acrylics, I'm talking about using a lot of water to kind of almost make the acrylic paint like a watercolor. So I'm really watering that down. You see how watery that is? And then I'm like, I think I'm even gonna do more. I'm gonna get even more. I want it really soupy because I don't want it to cover over my words that I've already written. So I'm just gonna kind of pull in this background, color. Just going to go right over the top of my verse. And the good news is because it's a paint pen, I can come back over the top of it and try to write over it again if I feel like this dims it too much. So I'm really going to dip my brush back in the water and just really keep it super runny, going back and forth. So if you would like to paint along with me, just grab mixed media pad. You can get them from Walmart. You can get them from Michael's. You can get them from Amazon too if you don't want to leave your house to go into the shops right now. But I would love to see, like, if you actually paint your own art journal page about God's promise to give us wisdom, I would love to see what you do. At the very least, just comment below and let me know that you did it. I always like to know. And when I was doing, way back in the day when I had my private practice, for those of you who don't know, I was a marriage and family therapist licensed in the state of California, still am, but I don't live in California any longer, so I'm not practicing there. But I specialized in expressive arts therapy. And I particularly loved to teach women how to really take a principle from the Bible or a scripture verse or something and let it speak to their needs, directly to their needs at the time, and then make art about it. And the act of making art about it was very therapeutic and also something that they could look at anytime they needed that reminder of what God brought to their awareness through his word. And then the art just helps it stay in the memory. So Okay, I've kind of run out of paint on my plate, so I'm just real soupy now, as you can see, but that's okay. Just coming down here to the bottom. You know what? Maybe I'm going to try something. Let's do something different at the bottom, actually. I'm going to try this. This is going to be really super bright. I am going to try a little bit of this bluegrass green at the bottom of the paper. So again, I'm going to get it really, really watery. I do not want this to be so bright and solid. And I'm just going to start at the bottom and kind of wash my way up into that other color and just keep that real as light as I possibly can, because then I kind of want to go over or around, and I want to put in flowers. I just feel like I want to put flowers in. So I'm going to water this down even more and pull it back up even higher into here. Okay, so that's pretty watery, pretty good. I've got decent coverage. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. This brush is, I'm done with this big old brush. Now I'm going to pick out a different brush. Let's go to a nice pointy round brush here. And I'm going to start thinking through where I would like to embellish this. I think maybe I'll put in a couple of flowers first, and then I'll put their leaves and their stems around later. So I'm going to get some true red on my plate. And if I can, let's see, there's not very much left. Oh, there, that's probably enough. I'm not going to make too many of those. So let's get some white on my plate as well. And I'm just kind of wanting to give some really abstract kind of fun and loose flowers. So I'm just going to kind of put some wavy lines. And let's do 3. And I might even let it go off the page a little bit there. And I'm going to get the center done, red. Let's do another one. Let's do one right here. I really want it, I want the edges to be very wavy. And just kind of fill it in a little bit. Okay, let's do a couple smaller ones. And I'm going to do them from the side. So I'm just going to kind of pull in little tiny smaller ones that are kind of U-shaped and like we're looking at them from the side. And this is just the first layer. Let's do one over here. Okay. And then I'm going to move to a completely different color. Well, actually, you know what? Let's take this white, since it's already on my plate, and let's mix it with the red over here. That might get a little bit of that purple in it from my plate from earlier, but that's okay. And I'm just going to come right on here and make some new dashes around on these roses or peonies or whatever you want them to be. And I'm just kind of adding in those comma shapes to kind of resemble the rose petals. And I'm going to do it on this last one too. And I'm running out of pink already. Sometimes I put way too much paint on my plate, and other times I don't put nearly enough. Okay, I'm going to come back into my red and add a center and just kind of darken up that rose in a few spots. It got a little light. Going to put a center in that one as well and just add a few more red splashes. Okay, I think we'll call those good for the time being. Let's come down here let's add in some of that pink just on top of this. And I'm just kind of letting it blend even. And these might even be, I don't know, tulips, kind of the way they're going. They're kind of shaped more like a tulip, so maybe I'll go ahead and just pull it into a tulip shape. Okay, let's pull in more of that pink on this tulip shape. And we'll just kind of turn it right into a tulip. Same thing here. And I could add more paint because I have the white and the red on my plate still. So we could just take a little bit more and make that, it's a new pink. All right, let's pull that tulip in and kind of smooth out the edges here a little bit. Might pull in some red, but it's actually blending right in because the paint is still so wet. That's okay. And let's pull a little bit of white in while it's still wet and touch it with a highlight. And I'm letting it blend so that it's not white. Kind of just allowing that to blend in with the paint underneath. And a little touch of white on this side. Giving that little sun-kissed highlight there. Okay, so I think we're gonna call that pretty good for the tulips. Of course, the minute I say that, I wanna start adding stuff. Let's call that good for the tulips. I'm gonna come in and I am gonna do some purple, some dark purple. So let's pull our purple in. Goodness, I'm gonna have to kind of go right here. And this, let's see, which paintbrush? Let's pick this one. Well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with that same paintbrush. I'm just gonna wipe it off on paper towel a little bit. And kind of what I'm envisioning for this is little dots. And I'm just wanting that lupine, I don't know how to say that flower, name of that flower. Just wanting to get some dots. And we'll put those dark purple dots down first and come back and put a lighter color as highlight. Okay, that's probably getting to be enough. I need to make those dots more dot-like, if that's a word. Okay, that's pretty good there. I think I'll add one here. Let's pull it up into near the Bible verse. And now I'm just gonna really try to do kind of some random dots. And I want that to kind of go like that. So I'm gonna make it a little bit curved down here. Get a glob on my brush so that I can get there. Okay, so that one's kind of got a little bit of a curve to it. And let's see, do I want to put one up here? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an even number. So I'm going to pull in, you know what? Let's pull it down here. I'm going to pull this other purple one right down here. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully my apron wasn't blocking the view completely. So this one's gonna come kind of, I'm just gonna draw a little bit of a line for my eye, and then we'll just dot along there. And let's put a little dot up here. Okay, there, that's good. That's a good shape. I'm happy with it. All right, so let's leave those alone for a minute. And let's see, do I want to do one more color? I've got this peony pink, but you know, I don't think I am. I think I'm going to leave that alone. The only thing that might be kind of nice is to add a little yellow somewhere, but this is fluorescent yellow, and I don't want to use fluorescent yellow. Let's see if I have a yellow close by. I think I do. I have a, oh goodness, I thought I had a Hansa yellow in my golden paints. I'm not putting my hands on it. Oh, yep, here it is. Hansa Yellow Medium by Golden. And I just feel like this needs some yellow somewhere. So I'm going to put some yellow on my plate. And let's put that lid back on here. And then I've got to move. There's a dry, icky piece that I got to get rid of. Okay, so now for the yellow flower, I think I might just do, let's just pull in a couple, and I'm just gonna kind of do like a star shape, and I'm gonna keep it pretty loose. Like that. They don't show up very well against that background, but that's okay. It adds a little something. Little spark. So there's a couple there. Let's add one here. And let's see, do I want one anywhere else? Maybe down here. It's kind of pretty against that green. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try to get another one. Where do I want the other one? Here. And I'm just trying to kind of have some sort of a composition going. But again, this is my art journal. It's for fun. It's for me. And I hope you have fun with yours too. And while I'm here in the yellow, I might just dot a couple of yellow dots in this kind of centers. Maybe even a little swipe here and there. It just adds a little something. And then to the centers of these, let's go ahead and pull that red in. Why not, right? Actually, you know what? Let's do one better. Let's make orange. So we'll get the nice orangey, dark orange. And then that is what I will use for the centers. And I can come and darken those up later if I want to. All right, now let's wash our brush out a bit. And now I'm gonna put a little bit more of that purple iris on my plate, because now I want to get my, my white, and I wanna mix it with the purple and get a little bit of a lighter shade of the purple. And that's where I'm gonna highlight, if the paint will allow me. It's very, very wet, so this is probably not a good time to add the highlights. I might come back later when it's a little more dry and add highlights, but you get the idea here. I'm just kind of dotting in this lighter color in a few places, covering over some of the background. Let's cover some of that, and I think I'm going to pull some of that purple in and go back over and make sure I've got the dark spots kind of defined in there. Don't want everything to be that really light color. So I'm just kind of touching it up here and there with some of the darker purple. Yeah, that's really, really wet. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. For now, these have to dry, and then I'll probably just come in with a little bit of white later and just touch, like I can show you. I'll just touch like a few of these, like just a tiny little touch of highlight like that. But when it's all dry, I can come in and I can kind of smush it out so that it's not just that little bead. But right now it's just going to end up kind of blending. So I'll stop there, pick that up later. Okay, let's see. While I'm here, I do kind of want to add a little bit more of a highlight on my roses. I want to dry my brush on my paper towel because it's gotten pretty wet. And now I'm just going to kind of swipe a few white highlights and see if I like it. And I might actually come back in with my red, especially right there, and make sure that center is nice and dark. But there, we get the idea of just kind of these white highlights on some of the petals. And let's pull in some red again. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop messing. Of course, I always say that, and then I see another spot where I want to add a highlight or something. All right, we're gonna stop with that, and next I'm gonna move to my greens. I picked out some very colorful greens this time. I've got this bluegrass that I used down here. So let's pull, actually, you know what? I have some already on my plate still left over, and it looks pretty wet. So I'm actually gonna pull that bluegrass in, and I'm gonna use that for my tulips down here. I'm just gonna pull a stem right down and then pull a leaf right in. The tulip leaf. Alrighty. Just a little straight leaf right there. Let's give these two tulips a little stem. I may have to pull out that paint. And I'm just going to pull that like that. And that like that. I can cross. And let's get just a little hint of a leaf here. On that one. And just a straight one right there. And maybe even just a little one right there. That's enough for the tulips, I think. Now, I've got to think through what color of stem I want for these other flowers. And I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with this. It's Hooker's Green. So I'm going to pull some Hooker's Green onto my plate. And I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm just going to go right into this. Kind of mix it with what was on my brush. In fact, that's kind of pretty. So I'm going to mix that together. This makes a little different color. All right, Let's add some stems for these. Let's start with these right here. Okay, so this stem's gonna just come right straight around, and I want it to kind of curve. Get a nice thick stem towards the bottom. And then this one, same thing, I'm gonna kind of curve it. And I don't even remember what their leaves look like, so I'm just gonna make up some leaves. Let's just, we're just making it up as we go along. I think they were kind of short leaves, if I remember correctly. The lupines, I think they had like little spriggy things that kind of sprayed out. Like little fingers. Anyway, we're just going to put a few of these in here. Just getting some embellishment in the green. I'm going to add a little bit of water to thin that so it's easier to come off my brush. All right, there we go. All right, I'm calling that good. Let's pull in our stems. I kind of want to do something curly Q. So I'm going to pull these stems off that side of the paper. And this stem, let's pull this one right down. Let it kind of intertwine with these. And this one, we'll pull right here. And this one's gonna have just little leaf shapes. That's actually a pretty big leaf for such a little stem. So let's make this one a little smaller. And let's pull a little small leaf up here. And we'll get one down. We'll get one over here too. And one right here. So I'm just having fun. Just allowing myself to kind of intuitively put whatever stems, whatever I want in here. I think these roses, I'm gonna actually pull the stem out from this side here and let it kind of go off the page. And then this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna let the stem kind of come off the page. Maybe it'll kind of curve around a little bit. And this stem, let's pull this stem around here and off the page. Okay, now this one, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little stem. Let's do a little stem and then a leaf. So our leaf comes off the stem. This one I kind of have to work around the purple flower. Okay, let's give this guy a little stem right here and right here. And then we'll just attach a leaf to it. Good enough. And let's see, did I have any other? Let's see, that has a stem, that has a stem. Just making sure all my, oh no, this one down here does not have a stem at all. So let's pull that stem right on down. And we'll give it some of those little fingery things too. There we go. I'm going to kind of pull these off the page. Now, the other thing that I have is I pulled out these teal C. Okay, I'm going to put a drop of that, and I'm going to put a drop of this Laguna. And then sometimes what's kind of fun to do is to just go around and add a drop of that teal in a few spots. So like I could come in and even on these leaves, I could kind of come up the underside of the leaf and add that darker color. And it's just to add like a little extra color to it, really. Let's add a little bit of that to this stem. And there's a leaf we can touch with it. Little bit off of that one. Okay. That's good for that. Let's put a little color. I like to kind of just in a few spots. Just add it here and there. Okay. Let's see. Anywhere else I want to do this beautiful blue? Let's get that off of the brush actually, and let's go into our Laguna. And our Laguna is really pretty. And I'm just going to add that to the leaves. So we've got like a little extra pop of color on top of that green. It's a little different. So a little Laguna. Actually, I could do another little leaf right there. That leaf is all Laguna. Oh, I didn't even pull a stem on this one. Let's make this stem the color of Laguna. Because why not, right? And we'll pull a little Laguna on this leaf here. Alrighty. And let's pull some leaves on this one. Let's see, anywhere else that I want to pop in? Let's mix some white with it. So I get this really nice, light blue. That's a pretty light blue. And then I might just touch it to the roses and their leaves. Just like a little highlight. Maybe even a few places on the stems. Whoops, uh-oh. I just got purple all over my brush. So we won't be doing any more with that. That's enough with that. Okay. This is still really wet, but I think that I could, let's pull this white over here. And I'm gonna just get the tiniest drop of purple because I don't want it to be solid white. There, get this light, very, very light purple. Let's just touch a few highlights over here, if I can. Yeah, it's pretty wet. Not even really showing up. Well, it's kind of working. You get the idea, just a few little highlights. So let's put a highlight, a couple of spots down here. Let's grab some more white because this is just blending right in. Okay. And a little white, just touch that in there. Okay, just to give some touches of highlights. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let it dry. And there we have it. And so when this is completely dry, I can come in and I can go back over my words to darken them up a little. And then I might even grab some of my paint pens or even my gold. Oh, that'd be fun. That would be really fun. Let's see if I've got one handy that would show up yet. Might not show up just because of the wetness of the paint. And of course I can never find my gold. Oh, here it is. Here it is. That would be my, oops, I just got green paint all over. So let's see if I can't wash that off my fingers and dry that off, get that off of the cap. See, I'm making a mess. And then I just am kind of thinking it'd be fun, this is still pretty wet, to just kind of come in with gold and surround these leaves. So just define them with gold. Like something like that. Just gives it a little definition and a little spark. That one was really, really wet, and I don't want to get this pen ruined. So I'm going to put it away, not tempt myself to use it until it's all dry. But you get the idea. So I hope you made something for your own art journal about God's promise to give us wisdom. What an awesome promise for the new year. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.